Avengers: Endgame is a 2019 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics superhero team the Avengers. Produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, it is the direct sequel to Avengers: Infinity War, 2018, and the 22nd film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. Directed by Anthony and Joe Russo and written by Christopher Markus and Stephen McFeely, the film features an ensemble cast that includes Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, Don Cheadle, Paul Rudd, Brie Larson, Karen Gillan, Danai Gurira, Benedict Wong, Jon Favreau, Bradley Cooper, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Josh Brolin. In the film, the surviving members of the Avengers and their allies attempt to reverse Thanos' actions in Infinity War, which erased half of all life in the universe. The film was announced in October 2014 as Avengers: Infinity War, Part 2, but Marvel Studios later removed this title. The Russo brothers joined as directors in April 2015, with Markus and McFeely signing on to write the script a month later. It is a conclusion to the story of the MCU up to that point, ending several main characters' story arcs. The plot revisits moments from earlier films, bringing back actors and settings from throughout the franchise. Filming began in August 2017 at Pinewood Atlanta Studios in Fayette County, Georgia, shooting back-to-back with Infinity War, and ended in January 2018. Additional filming took place in the metro and downtown Atlanta areas, New York State, Scotland, and England. The official title was announced in December 2018. With an estimated budget range of $356 to $400 million, Endgame is one of the most expensive films ever produced. Avengers: Endgame premiered at the Los Angeles Convention Center on April 22, 2019, and was released in the United States on April 26 as part of Phase 3 of the MCU. The film received positive reviews from critics, with praise for its direction, acting, musical score, action scenes, visual effects, and emotional weight, with critics lauding its culmination of the 22-film story. It grossed nearly $2.8 billion worldwide, surpassing Infinity War's entire theatrical run in 11 days and setting several box office records. It was the highest-grossing film of all time from July 2019 to March 2021, when it was surpassed by the previous record holder, Avatar, 2009. Endgame was nominated for Best Visual Effects at the 92nd Academy Awards, among numerous other accolades. Two further films, Avengers: Doomsday and Avengers: Secret Wars, are scheduled for release in 2026 and 2027. Plot: in 2018, 23 days after Thanos erased half of all life in the universe, Carol Danvers rescues Tony Stark and Nebula from deep space. They reunite with the remaining Avengers: Bruce Banner, Steve Rogers, Thor, Natasha Romanoff, and James Rhodes, and Rocket on Earth. Finding Thanos on an uninhabited planet, they plan to use the Infinity Stones to reverse his actions, but learn that Thanos has destroyed them. Enraged, Thor decapitates Thanos. 5 years later, Scott Lang escapes from the quantum realm. Reaching the Avengers compound, he says he experienced only 5 hours while trapped. Theorizing that the quantum realm allows time travel, they ask a reluctant Stark to help them retrieve the stones from the past to reverse Thanos' present actions. Stark, Rocket, and Banner, who has merged his intelligence with the Hulk's strength, build a time machine. Banner says that altering the past does not affect the present, since any changes create alternate realities. Banner and Rocket travel to Norway, where they visit the Asgardian refugee settlement of New Asgard and recruit an overweight, despondent Thor. In Tokyo, Romanoff recruits Clint Barton, who became a vigilante after his family was erased. Banner, Lang, Rogers, and Stark time travel to New York City during Loki's attack in 2012. See at the Sanctum Sanctorum, Banner convinces the Ancient One to give him the Time Stone after promising to return the Infinity Stones to their proper points in time. At Stark Tower, Rogers retrieves the Mind Stone from Hydra's sleeper agents, but Stark and Lang's attempt to steal the Space Stone fails, allowing 2012 Loki to escape with it. Rogers and Stark travel to Camp Lehigh in 1970, where Stark obtains an earlier version of the Space Stone and encounters his father, Howard. Rogers steals Pym particles from Hank Pym to return to the present and sees his lost love, Peggy Carter. Rocket and Thor travel to Asgard in 2013. Rocket extracts the Reality Stone from Jane Foster. Thor is encouraged by his mother, Frigga, and retrieves his old hammer, Mjolnir. Barton, Romanoff, Nebula, and Rhodes travel to 2014. Nebula and Rhodes go to Morag and steal the Power Stone before Peter Quill while Barton and Romanoff travel to Vormir. The Soul Stone's keeper, Red Skull, says that it can be acquired only by sacrificing a loved one. Romanoff sacrifices herself, allowing Barton to get the stone. Rhodes and Nebula attempt to return to their own time, but Nebula is incapacitated when her cybernetic implants link with her past self, allowing 2014 Thanos to learn about his future self's success and the Avengers attempt to undo it. 2014 Thanos sends 2014 Nebula forward in time to prepare for his arrival. Reuniting in the present, the Avengers place the stones in a gauntlet that Stark, Banner, and Rocket have built. Banner, who has the most resistance to their radiation, uses the gauntlet to undo Thanos' disintegrations. Meanwhile, 2014 Nebula, impersonating her future self, uses the time machine to transport 2014 Thanos and his warship to the present and destroys the Avengers compound. Present-day Nebula convinces 2014 Gamora to betray Thanos, but is unable to convince 2014 Nebula and kills her. Thanos overpowers Stark, Thor and Mjolnir-wielding Rogers. He summons his army to retrieve the stones, intent on using them to destroy the universe and create a new one. A restored Stephen Strange arrives with other sorcerers, the restored Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Ravagers, and the armies of Wakanda and Asgard to fight Thanos' army. Danvers also arrives and destroys Thanos' warship, but Thanos overpowers her and seizes the gauntlet. Stark steals the stones and uses them to disintegrate Thanos and his army, sacrificing himself. After Stark's funeral, Thor appoints Valkyrie as the new king of New Asgard and joins the Guardians. Rogers returns the stones and Mjolnir to their proper timelines and remains in the past to live with Carter. In the present, an elderly Rogers passes his shield to Sam Wilson. Cast: Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark/Iron Man. The benefactor of the Avengers who describes himself as a genius, billionaire, playboy, and philanthropist with electromechanical suits of armor he made. 5'6". According to directors Joe and Anthony Russo, Downey was the only actor to receive the entire screenplay for the film. 7 screenwriters Christopher Markus and Stephen McFeely knew that Stark's death was inevitable as a move to selflessness and as an end to the chapter Stark began. They felt that his death was earned after granting him the perfect retirement life. That's the life he's been striving for. They got married, they had a kid, it was great. It's a good death. It doesn't feel like a tragedy. It feels like a heroic, finished life. 8. Joe Russo said that Stark always knew he was going to die because he could never reconcile that notion in himself of not protecting the universe, and was the most defiant of the Avengers. Stark is the most formidable of all of them, because of his heart. 9. The Russos sought Downey's approval for Stark's arc, which they had developed since Captain America: Civil War, 2016. 10. Chris Evans as Steve Rogers/Captain America. The leader of the Avengers, World War II veteran and former fugitive, he was enhanced to the peak of human physicality by an experimental serum and frozen in suspended animation before waking up in the modern world. 6. Markus described Rogers as someone who is moving towards some sort of enlightened self-interest. McFeely knew that Rogers was going to get his dance that he promised Peggy Carter in Captain America: The First Avenger, 2011. He initially planned to complete Rogers' story arc by killing him off, given the character's long life for his occupation, before deciding to have Rogers abandon his shield. 8. Patrick Gorman provided an on-set reference for an elderly Steve Rogers. 11. Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner/Hulk. An Avenger and genius scientist who, because of exposure to gamma radiation, transforms into a monster when enraged or agitated. 12. Banner balances his two sides with gamma experimentation in this film, enabling him to combine his intelligence with the Hulk's strength and physical stature. 13. Based on his Professor Hulk comic book identity. 14. Compared to other heroes who were demotivated by their loss to Thanos, Banner is the only character to remain hopeful. According to Anthony Russo, Banner is the sole character who is actually forging into a bright new future, trying to build something totally new and find something completely new. Banner is the one who is most heroic in a sense that he maintains his will to keep trying. 15. This concludes a character arc that was established in Thor, Ragnarok, 2017, and continued in Avengers, Infinity War, 2018. 16. Chris Hemsworth as Thor. An Avenger and the King of Asgard, based on the Norse mythological deity of the same name. 17. Thor now wields a mystical axe known as Stormbreaker after the destruction of his hammer, Mjolnir, in Thor, Ragnarok. 18. In the film, Thor has become an overweight, drunken ruler of Asgard's refugees in Tonsberg, Norway. Hemsworth said about this drastic character change, "I just had an opinion. I wanted to do something different this time. Each film I've wanted to, in particular, the last couple, and they were on board," and added, "We shot for many hours and days and discussed how far could we push Thor, and what we could do different." 19. According to Anthony Russo, even though there's a lot of fun to be had in the movie with his physical condition, it's not a gag. It's a manifestation of where he is on a character level, and we think it's one of the most relatable aspects of him. I mean, it's a very common sort of response to depression and pain. 20. Thor's story was Russo's favorite arc. Part of Chris' magic as a comedic actor is his dedication to the depth of the character on a very earnest level. It's so devious and subversive when comedy is coming from a place of complete commitment and emotional complexity. 21. Hemsworth underwent around 3 hours of hair and makeup work for the transformation, which also required him to wear a large silicone prosthetic suit. He called himself Lebowski Thor on set. Thor was initially supposed to revert to his old chiseled self in the middle of Endgame, but Hemsworth wanted to retain Thor's new physique. 22. Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff/Black Widow. An Avenger and a highly trained spy and former agent of SHIELD. 23. 6. Romanoff continues to command several teams from around the galaxy in the Avengers headquarters at the beginning of the film, which Joe Russo said stemmed from her inability to move on from their failure to stop Thanos. He's doing everything she can to try and hold the community together. She's the watcher on the wall still. On the decision for Romanoff to sacrifice herself for Barton to acquire the Soul Stone to bring everyone back, Joe Russo said that it was part of a larger theme of the desires to sacrifice or protect in Infinity War. When she gets to that Soul Stone scene, I think she understands that the only way to bring the community back is for her to sacrifice herself. 24. McFeely said, "Her journey, in our minds, had come to an end if she could get the Avengers back. She comes from such an abusive, terrible, mind control background, so when she gets to Vormir and she has a chance to get the family back, that's a thing she would trade for." 8. To prepare for the film, Johansson adopted an intense workout regimen which included plyometrics, Olympic weightlifting, and gymnastics and a time-restricted diet. All were supervised by her longtime trainer, Eric Johnson, with whom she had worked since Iron Man 2, 2010, the film which introduced her character. 25. Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton/Hawkeye. A master archer and a former Avenger and agent of SHIELD who was recently under house arrest. 26 McFeely described Barton's dark turn as a good example of people who had much stronger stories after the snap. The film's cold open, with the disintegration of Barton's family, was initially supposed to be in Infinity War after Thanos snapped. It was moved to Endgame, however, with Markus saying that it was going to blunt the brutality of what Thanos did. Ava Joe Russo called it a very tragic scene to open the movie with. It's one of the few scenes in the movie that actually makes me tear up when I watch it, because I think about my own family, and then you think about what would happen to you, as a father. You'd become very self-destructive. 15. Don Cheadle as James Rhodey Rhodes/War Machine. An officer in the U.S. Air Force and an Avenger who operates the War Machine armor. 27 Cheadle described Rhodes's newfound belonging as an Avenger as not so much straddling one foot in the military. He's much more on the side of the Avengers than he was prior. This is reflected on Rhodes's more instinctive and realistic worldview in the midst of encountering the fantastic. According to Cheadle, he's definitely got somewhat the EFF is happening attitude more than maybe the rest of them do, given his background. But it's a trial by fire, and he's quickly adapted to what the threat is, rather than what he wishes it were. 28. Paul Rudd as Scott Lang/Ant-Man. A former petty criminal and Avenger who acquired a suit that allows him to shrink or grow in size while also increasing in strength. 6. Lang is portrayed by twins Boslo and Lone LeClaire as a baby, by Jackson A. Dunn at age 12, and by Lee Moore at age 93. 29. This was Moore's final film before his death in August 2018. 30. Markus explained that adding Lang helped with implementing time travel into the film, saying, "We had access to him in the second movie, and the fact that he was bringing a whole subset of technology that did have something to do with a different concept of time was like a birthday present." 31. Brie Larson as Carol Danvers/Captain Marvel. An ex-U.S. Air Force fighter pilot and Avenger whose DNA was altered during an accident, giving her superhuman strength, energy projection, and flight. 32-33 Markus said that Danvers's powers are on a scale that has not previously existed in the MCU and compared her personality to Rogers's, which is sort of a person who's right and knows they're right and doesn't really want to hear it when you tell them they're wrong. 34 Danvers has little screen time in the film, which McFeely said was not the story we're trying to tell. It's the original Avengers dealing with loss and coming to a conclusion, and she's the new, fresh blood. 8. Larson filmed her scenes for Endgame before beginning work on her solo film, Captain Marvel, 2019, which was released first. Captain Marvel directors Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck were present for the filming of her scenes in Endgame, and gave Danvers's characterization in the film their blessing. 35. Karen Gillan as Nebula. An adopted daughter of Thanos and an Avenger who was raised with Gamora. 36. After being an antagonist or an anti-hero in previous MCU films, Nebula undergoes a redemption arc and makes amends for her past actions, including an encounter with a past version of herself. According to Gillan, she is staring her former self in the face, and it's really clear how far she's come from that angry, bitter, and twisted person. She's starting to connect with other people and find some level of forgiveness. Gillan guessed that Nebula would play a prominent role in the film when she realized that Infinity War and Endgame would be adapted from the Infinity Gauntlet, which she had read when she was initially cast as Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy, 2014. Gillan shared several scenes, most of which were improvised, with Downey in the film's opening. 37. Danai Gurira as Okoye, the general of the Dora Milaje, a group of elite women warriors. 38. Benedict Wong as Wong, a master of the mystic arts and a companion of Doctor Strange. 39. Jon Favreau as Happy Hogan, the former head of security at Stark Industries and Stark's friend and former driver. 40. Bradley Cooper as Rocket. A member of the Guardians and an Avenger who is a genetically engineered, raccoon-based bounty hunter, mercenary, and master of weapons and battle tactics. 41. Sean Gunn was again the stand-in for Rocket during filming, with his acting and expressions the character's motion reference. 42 Rocket's appearance continues a story arc that was established by Guardians of the Galaxy writer-director and Endgame executive producer James Gunn in the first two Guardians of the Galaxy films, was continued in Infinity War and Endgame, and concluded in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, 2023. 43. Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts, Stark's wife and the CEO of Stark Industries. 44 Potts wears a weaponized powered exosuit of armor made for her by Stark, based on the rescue armor. 45-46 Paltrow said this would be her final major appearance in the MCU. 47. Josh Brolin as Thanos, an intergalactic warlord from Titan who acquired all 6 Infinity Stones in Infinity War and triggered the snap, killing half of all life in the universe. 48-49 Joe Russo said that after Thanos was successful in Avengers, Infinity War, he was done and retired. 50 Markus and McFeely had difficulty in factoring the older, post-Infinity War Thanos into the film, because the character already had the Infinity Stones, until executive producer Trent Tran suggested that they kill Thanos in the film's first act. Markus said that the character's early death improved his agenda. 8 Thanos has less screen time in Endgame than in Infinity War, where he was considered the main character. According to McFeely, we had to give ourselves permission to backseat the villain a little bit. I don't think anyone in the first half of the movie is going, "Oh, I wish there was a villain." You're rolling around in the Lost and the Time heist, and you think it's sort of Avengers against nature. The younger version of Thanos was nicknamed Warrior Thanos by the filmmakers. 15 In addition to voicing the character, Brolin did the motion capture. 51 Joe Russo was a stand-in for Thanos for some scenes with Nebula. 52. Several actors from Infinity War reprised their roles in Endgame, including Benedict Cumberbatch as Dr. Stephen Strange. 53 Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa/Black Panther. 54 Tom Holland as Peter Parker/Spider-Man, Zoe Saldana as Gamora. 41 Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff. 55 Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson/Falcon. 56 Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes/Winter Soldier. 57 Tom Hiddleston as Loki. 58 Pom Klementieff as Mantis. 59 Dave Bautista as Drax the Destroyer. 41 Letitia Wright as Shuri. 60 William Hurt as Thaddeus Ross, Kobe Smulders as Maria Hill. 41 Winston Duke as M'Baku. 61 Tom Von Lawler as Ebony Maw. 41 Jacob Batalon as Ned. 62 Vin Diesel as Grodd. 41 Chris Pratt as Peter Quill/Star-Lord. 55 Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, Ross Marquand as Red Skull/Stonekeeper, Michael James Shaw as Corvus Glaive, Terry Notary as Cull Obsidian. 41 and Carrie Condon as the voice of Stark Suit AIFRIDAY. 63 Monique Ganderton again provided motion capture for Proxima Midnight. 41. Also reprising their roles from previous MCU films were Evangeline Lilly as Hope Van Dyne/Wasp. 64 Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie, Renee Russo as Frigga, John Slattery as Howard Stark, Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One, Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter, Marissa Tomei as May Parker, Taika Waititi as Korg. 62 Angela Bassett as Raymunda. 41 Michael Douglas as Hank Pym, Michelle Pfeiffer as Janet Van Dyne, Linda Cardellini as Laura Barton, Maximiliano Hernandez as Jasper Sitwell. 62 Frank Grillo as Brock Rumlow. 65 Robert Redford as Alexander Pierce, Callan Mulvey as Jack Rollins, and Ty Simpkins as Harley Keener. 62 Sean Gunn reprised his role as Kraglin and was credited for the role. 66 Although he is not clearly visible in the film. 67 Natalie Portman appears as Jane Foster in footage from a deleted Thor: The Dark World, 2013, scene and a voiceover when Foster is talking in the distance. 68 James D'Arcy reprised his role as Edwin Jarvis from the MCU television series Agent Carter, the first time a character introduced in an MCU television series appeared in an MCU film. 69. Hiroyuki Sanada played Akihiko, a Yakuza boss in Tokyo who opposes Barton. Lexi Raby played Morgan Stark, Tony, and Pepper's daughter. 41. 66 Catherine Langford was cast as an older Morgan, but her scene was cut from the final film. 70-71 Emma Fuhrman played an older Cassie Lang, Scott's daughter, after the character was played as a child by Abby Ryder Fortson in previous MCU films. 72 Avengers co-creator Stan Lee had a posthumous cameo in the film, digitally de-aged as a car driver in 1970, in his final film appearance. 73 Ken Jeong and Yvette Nicole Brown had cameo appearances as a storage facility guard and a SHIELD employee, respectively. 62 co-director Joe Russo, credited as Goja Agbo, had a cameo appearance as a grieving gay man, the first appearance of an openly homosexual character in an MCU film. 74 Joe's daughters Ava and Leah Russo played Barton's daughter Lila and a fan of Hulk, respectively. Thanos creator Jim Starlin also appeared as a grieving man. 75 The character Howard the Duck appeared in a non-speaking cameo. 76. Production. Main article, Production of Avengers, Infinity War and Avengers, Endgame. Joe and Anthony Russo, seated, Joe wears glasses, and Anthony is in front of a microphone. Anthony and Joe Russo, the film's directors. In October 2014, Marvel Studios announced a two-part sequel of Avengers, Age of Ultron, 2015, entitled Avengers, Infinity War. Part 1 was scheduled to be released on May 4, 2018, and Part 2 was scheduled for May 3, 2019. 77 Marvel's plan was to film both parts of Infinity War back-to-back. 78 Anthony and Joe Russo were hired to direct the films in April 2015. 79 The next month, Christopher Markus and Stephen McFeely signed on to write the screenplays for both parts of the film. 80 Producer Kevin Feige said they would be two distinct projects with shared elements, not one story split across two films. 81 The Russos decided to rename them to remove this misconception in May 2016. 82 and Marvel left the second film untitled that July. 83 Feige and the Russo brothers indicated that the title was being withheld to avoid giving away plot details. 84-85 Principal photography began on August 10, 2017. 86 under the working title Mary Lou. 287 at Pinewood Atlanta Studios in Fayette County, Georgia, with Trent Opeluk the director of photography. 88-89 The film and Infinity War were shot with ARRI Alexa IMAX 2D cameras, the first time a Hollywood feature film was shot entirely with IMAX digital cameras. 90 Filming was done that month in the Gulch area of downtown Atlanta, near the 5 Points MARTA station, and in Piedmont Park. 91 Feige said that the films were originally scheduled to be filmed simultaneously but were ultimately shot back-to-back. It became too complicated to cross-board them like that, and we found ourselves again, something would always pay the price. We wanted to be able to focus and shoot one movie and then focus and shoot another movie. 92. Anthony Russo originally felt that it made more sense to shoot the films simultaneously for financial and logistical reasons, including the large number of cast members, 93 and had suggested that some days we'll be shooting the first movie and some days we'll be shooting the second movie. Just jumping back and forth. 88. The 2013 Asgard scenes were shot at Durham Cathedral in Durham, England during production of Infinity War in early May 2017. 94-95 production wrapped on January 11, 2018. 96 Although additional filming took place in New York's Dutchess and Ulster counties in June 2018. 97 Reshoots began by September 7, 2018. 98 and ended on October 12. 99 more reshoots were done in January 2019. 100 location shooting also took place in St. Abbs, Scotland, which doubled for New Asgard in Norway. 101 Evans and Hemsworth earned $15 million each for the film. 102. The film's official title, Avengers, Endgame, and final US release date of April 26, 2019, were revealed with the film's first trailer in December 2018. 103 visual effects for the film were created by Industrial Light and Magic, Weta Digital, DNEG, Framestore, Cinesite, Digital Domain, Rise, Lola VFX, Cantina Creative, Capital T, Technicolor VFX, and Territory Studio. 104 Like previous MCU films, Lola worked on the de-aging scenes. The film has 200 de-aging and aging shots. 105 Downey, Evans, Ruffalo, Hemsworth, Johansson, and Renner were de-aged to their 2012 appearances for scenes recreated from the Avengers, 2012. 106 Michael Douglas, John Slattery, and Stan Lee were also de-aged for the 1970 New Jersey scene 73. 107 and Douglas's appearance in the streets of San Francisco was referenced. 108 Lola aged Evans for the final scene, where he is an elderly man, with makeup and a stand-in. 106 Jeffrey Ford and Matthew Schmidt were the film's editors. 109. Music. Main article, Avengers, Endgame, soundtrack. A standing Alan Silvestri, gesturing with one hand. Alan Silvestri composed the film's score. Alan Silvestri, who composed the score for the Avengers, was announced in June 2016 to be returning to score Infinity War and Endgame. 110 The Russos began working with Silvestri on the Endgame score in early November 2018. 111 and it was completed in late March 2019. 112 A soundtrack album with Silvestri's score was released digitally by Hollywood Records on April 26, 2019, with a physical release on May 24. 113 A video for the track Portals, composed for the climactic Avengers Assemble scene in which reinforcements arrive for the Avengers, was released on June 13. 114. Silvestri described the score as having the franchise's most versatile tone, ranging from thunderous percussion and powerful brass for the action scenes to minimalist, jazz-inspired music for Ant-Man and the Quantum Realm. He reprised his themes from the previous Avengers films and Captain America, the First Avenger, including material he wrote for Thanos and the Infinity Stones in Infinity War. Silvestri found writing the music to end Captain America's story poignant, since he had been on this journey with him since the beginning. 115 The film also used the Ant-Man, 2015, theme by Christoph Beck, the Doctor Strange, 2016, theme by Michael Giacchino, and the Captain Marvel theme by Pina Topruk. 116 The songs Come and Get Your Love by Redbone and It's Been a Long Time by Jewel Stein and Sammy Kin were also used after previously being heard in Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain America, The Winter Soldier, 2014, respectively. 117-118. Marketing. The marketing campaign for Endgame cost over $200 million, the most for any Marvel Studios film. Promotional partners included Stand Up to Cancer, MasterCard, Ulta Beauty, the Audi e-tron GT concept car, which appears in the film, McDonald's, Geico, Coca-Cola, Google, General Mills, Hertz, Ziploc, Oppo, and Synchrony Financial. 119 A year before the film's release, Jermaine Lucie of IO9 spoke on the approach Marvel might have to take in marketing the film, given the end of Infinity War where many established characters die. He questioned if those characters would appear on posters and in toy campaigns, and if the actors playing them would participate in press events leading up to the film's release. Lucie felt that Disney and Marvel could focus on the original Avengers team members, most of the living characters, but noted that it would be more beneficial to show the return of the dead characters. This would create a mystery and curiosity about how they come back and a whole new level of interest for the film while having all the stars front and center. 120 Feige said in June 2018 that the dead characters would not be featured in the film's marketing. 121 He presented a behind-the-scenes video from the film at Cine Europe 122-123 and said that its marketing campaign would begin at the end of 2018. 124 In early December 2018, Before the first trailer's release, Graham McMillan of The Hollywood Reporter spoke about the fevered anticipation surrounding it and felt it remarkable, mostly fan-created, without the noticeable direction from Marvel or the filmmakers involved. Knowledge about the film, without promotion, was a kind of brand awareness that was unusual. McMillan urged Marvel not to release any trailers for the film, since the advanced level of enthusiasm was likely to build before its release. A trailer would take away the Schrodinger's cat-esque position, as it was almost guaranteed to disappoint fans. 125. The first trailer for the film was released on December 7, 2018. 126. Dustin Sandoval, Vice President of Digital Marketing for Marvel Studios, said that the marketing team decided to omit the title or hashtag for the film in its trailer posts, allowing fans to see the trailer without spoiling it by watching at the end. 127. Richard Newby, also of The Hollywood Reporter, felt that although little new material was revealed in the trailer, it offered a somber glimpse of a universe made unrecognizable and let the viewer consider the ending of Avengers, Infinity War and our questions of loss. Newby noted that the trailer highlighted the characters' humble beginnings with its visual language, and left viewers with just as many questions as we had before. 126. Austin Goslin of Polygon said that the title references a line by Doctor Strange to Tony Stark in Infinity War and a line by Stark in Age of Ultron. Goslin said, "The scene surrounding this line in Age of Ultron is one of the most important ones in the movie. Things look dark, and the group of heroes face an enemy they don't think they can defeat. The Endgame trailer mirrors this perfectly, and shows us that the Avengers' two most prominent characters are who they've always been: Iron Man, a pessimist who keeps fighting no matter how hopeless things look, and Captain America, an optimist who believes that nothing is hopeless when the world's heroes fight together." 128. The trailer was viewed 289 million times in its first 24 hours and was the most viewed trailer in that time period, surpassing the record of Avengers, Infinity War, 230 million views. It set a record for Twitter conversation for a film trailer in the first 24 hours, generating 549,000 mentions. 129. By January 3, 2019, Box Office Trailer Impact Metric Service indicated that 77 to 78% of people surveyed who viewed the Endgame trailer in the past 3 weeks had expressed interest in seeing the film. In the 3 weeks it was measured by the service, the trailer was number 1 for all and had the top 2% of respondents express interest in seeing the film since the service's introduction in March 2018. 130. The second trailer for the film and its theatrical release poster were released on March 14, 2019. All 13 actors on the poster received top billing except for Danai Gurira, whose name appeared in the poster's bottom billing block with Benedict Wong, Jon Favreau, and Gwyneth Paltrow, none of whom appeared on the poster. Despite this, her exclusion from the top billing prompted criticism from some fans. 38. 131. Petrana Rajulovic of Polygon said that how an actor is credited on a poster is a complex process based on dealing with agents, fees, and movie star demands. 38. Marvel Studios released an updated poster later that day, with Gurira in the top billing. 38. 131. The second trailer was viewed 268 million times in the first 24 hours, becoming the second most viewed trailer in that time period, behind the first trailer. 132. Release. Theatrical. Avengers: Endgame had its world premiere at the Los Angeles Convention Center on April 22, 2019. 133. 134. Disney converted the convention center's Hall K for the film's premiere, working with Dolby and QSC Audio to install a 70-foot, 21-meter, screen, Dolby Vision projectors, and a Dolby Atmos sound system. The convention center also held the red carpet arrival and after party for the premiere. 134. The film was released in Australia, China, and other parts of Asia and Europe on April 24. 135. In the United Kingdom on April 25. 136. In the United States and India on April 26. 103. 135. And in Russia on April 29. 135. In IMAX and 3D. 137. 138. It was originally scheduled to be released in the United States on May 3. 77. Radio Liberty alleged that the Russian government postponed the film's release in that country to promote Russian-produced films. 139. Avengers: Endgame is part of Phase 3 of the MCU. 140. Following the release of the second trailer for Marvel Studios' Spider-Man: Far From Home, 2019, on May 6, Marvel began showing it at the end of Endgame screenings with a message before the film from Far From Home star Tom Holland telling the audience to stay until the end of the credits to see the trailer. 141. In June, Feige announced that Avengers: Endgame would be re-released in theaters with 7 minutes of new post-credits footage, which included a Stan Lee tribute, an unfinished deleted scene, and the opening scene of Far From Home. A limited edition poster would be given out at select theaters. The re-release began on June 28 in 1,040 theaters in the United States. 142. 143. Endgame will be re-released in theaters on September 25, 2026, in anticipation of its sequel, Avengers: Doomsday, releasing in December 2026. 144. Home media. The film was released for digital download by Walt Disney Studios Home Entertainment on July 30, 2019, and on Ultra HD Blu-ray, and DVD on August 13. 145. Streaming became exclusive to Disney Plus on November 12, 2019. 146. The digital and Blu-ray releases include behind-the-scenes featurettes, audio commentary, deleted scenes, and a blooper reel. 145. Despite being filmed with IMAX cameras and released in IMAX theaters in the 1.90:1 aspect ratio, the home media release has the cropped 2.39:1 aspect ratio version used for non-IMAX screenings. 147. The IMAX enhanced version of the film was made available on Disney Plus on November 12, 2021. 148. And it earned $107.8 million from DVD and Blu-ray sales in the US. 3. Reception. Box office. Main article: List of box office records set by Avengers: Endgame. Avengers: Endgame grossed $858.4 million in the United States and Canada and $1.941 billion in other territories for a worldwide total of $2.799 billion. 4. It was the highest grossing film of all time, 149, until it was surpassed by Avatar, 2009, due to the 2021 re-release in China, 150, and was the second highest grossing film of all time in the United States and Canada. 151. Gone with the Wind, 1939, remains the highest grossing film, adjusted for inflation, and Avengers: Endgame is the fifth highest grossing film of all time worldwide. 152. The film had a worldwide opening of $1.2 billion, the biggest of all time, and nearly double Infinity War's previous record of $640 million. 153. It is the fastest film to reach the $1 billion and $1.5 billion marks, doing so in 5 and 8 days respectively. 154. Deadline Hollywood estimated that the film would break even 5 days after release, unheard of for a major studio tentpole during its opening weekend. 2. The website calculated Avengers: Endgame's final net profit as $890 million, accounting for production budgets, marketing, talent participation, and other costs. Box office grosses and home media revenue placed it first on its list of 2019's most valuable blockbusters. 155. On May 4th, the film's earnings at the global box office surpassed the theatrical run of Infinity War. It was the fastest film to gross $2 billion worldwide, reaching that threshold in 11 days, Avatar did so in 47 days. 156 Avengers, Endgame was the fifth film to surpass this threshold, after Avatar, Titanic, 1997, Star Wars, The Force Awakens, 2015, and Infinity War, 157 and reached the $2.5 billion mark in 20 days, Avatar did so in 72. 158. Pre-sale records. Endgame was one of 2019's most anticipated films in late December 2018, ranked second by IMDb and first by Fandango and Atom Tickets. 159,160 due to high demand when pre-sale tickets became available in the US on April 2, 2019, customers on Atom Tickets and Fandango experienced long wait times and system delays. AMC Theaters website and app crashed for several hours. Fandango announced that day that the film was its top-selling pre-sale film for the first 24 hours, breaking Star Wars, The Force Awakens' record in 6 hours. Atom said that the film was the website's best-selling first-day film, outselling Aquaman, 2018, by 4 times, and Regal Cinemas reported that Endgame had sold more tickets in its first 8 hours than Infinity War did in its first week. 161 The film grossed $120 to $140 million in pre-sales. 135 Fandango announced the day before release that Endgame was its biggest pre-selling film of all time, surpassing The Force Awakens with over 8,000 sold-out showtimes across the US. 162. In India, the film sold 1 million tickets in one day for its English, Hindi, Tamil, and Telugu language screenings. 18 tickets were sold every second. 135 In China, pre-sale tickets became available on April 12. A record 1 million were sold in 6 hours, surpassing Infinity War's first 24 hours total in the first hour 163 and earning $114.5 million, RMB 770 million, in pre-sales. 164. United States and Canada. Multicolored line graph. Chart of the North American box office gross of Avengers, Endgame against the 4 highest grossing films in the market. On April 4, industry tracking projected that the film would gross $200 to $250 million domestically during its opening weekend. Some insiders saw those figures as conservative, and expected a $260 to $300 million debut. 165-166 by the week of its release, domestic estimates had risen to $260 to $270 million, and some insiders suggested that a $300 million debut was possible. The film played in 4,662 theaters, 410 of which were in IMAX. It was the widest release ever, surpassing the record of Despicable Me 3's, 2017, 4,529 theaters. 135-167 Avengers, Endgame earned $357.1 million in its opening weekend, breaking Infinity War's record by nearly $100 million. It set records for Friday, $157.5 million, including $60 million from Thursday night previews, Saturday, $109.3 million, and Sunday, $90.4 million, totals, and had a higher total weekend gross than the previous box office high of all films combined, $314 million. 168 The film earned an average of $76,601 per theater, breaking records for highest per theater average for a nationwide release, $59,982 for The Force Awakens, and the inflation-adjusted record held by Return of the Jedi, approximately $66,400, set in 1983. 169-170 It earned $36.9 million the following Monday and $33.1 million on Tuesday, both the third highest of all time. 172 in its second weekend. The film made $147.4 million, the second best second weekend ever, for a 10-day total of $621.3 million. It was the fastest film to pass the $600 million mark, ahead of The Force Awakens' 12 days and less than half the 26 days it took Infinity War. 173 The film grossed $64.8 million the following week, the fourth best third weekend ever. It passed the $700 million mark, tying The Force Awakens' record of 16 days. 174 Endgame was finally dethroned in its fourth weekend by newcomer John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum, 2019. 175 It earned $17.2 million the following weekend, a total of $22.3 million over the four-day Memorial Day weekend, crossing the $800 million threshold domestically. 176 The film was added to 1,040 theaters during its 10th weekend re-release and earned $6.1 million, an increase of 207% from the previous weekend. 177 It earned $1.2 million in its 13th weekend, breaking Avatar's all-time record. 178 Other territories. Endgame was projected to gross around $680 million internationally over its first 5 days, for a global debut of $850 to $950 million. 179 180 135 The film was initially projected to gross $250 to $280 million in China in its opening weekend 135 but earned a record $107.5 million, RMB 719 million, in the country on its first day. This included $28.2 million, RMB 189 million, from midnight, 3 a.m., and 6 a.m. screenings, eclipsing The Fate of the Furious, 2017, record of $9.1 million. Due to the record-breaking first day and word of mouth, with a 9.1 on local review aggregator Dubon and a 9.3 on ticket website Maoyan, debut projections were increased to over $300 million. 164 The film made $169 million on its first day, the highest total of all time. Its largest markets after China were India, $9 million, South Korea, $8.4 million, the largest non-holiday single-day gross ever, Australia, $7.1 million, France, $6 million, and Italy, $5.8 million. The film overperformed, opening with $866 million overseas. Its largest markets, setting records for the best ever opening in each country, were China, $330.5 million, RMB 2.22 billion, the United Kingdom, $53.8 million, South Korea, $47.4 million, Mexico, $33.1 million, Australia, $30.8 million, Brazil, $26 million, Spain, $13.3 million, Japan, $13 million, 153 and Vietnam, $10 million. 181 The film earned $21.6 million over its first 4 days in Russia after a government-caused delay of its premiere. 139 182 183 In its first week, the film's top 5 largest international markets were China, $459.4 million, the United Kingdom, $68.2 million, South Korea, $60.3 million, Mexico, $48.6 million, and India, $40.9 million. 184 A week after its release, it became the highest-grossing foreign film of all time in China 185 and India 186. The film's running total passed $1.569 billion from international markets in its second weekend, passing Titanic as the second highest film overseas of all time. 157 By January 2021, Its top international markets were China, $632 million, the United Kingdom, $115 million, South Korea, $105 million, Brazil, $86 million, and Mexico, $78 million. 4. Critical response. The performances of Top L. R. Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Mark Ruffalo, Bottom L. R. Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, and Jeremy Renner as the original 6 Avengers were widely praised by critics. 187. Review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes reported an approval rating of 94%, with an average score of 8.2/10 based on 551 reviews. The website's critical consensus reads, "Exciting, entertaining, and emotionally impactful, Avengers: Endgame does whatever it takes to deliver a satisfying finale to Marvel's epic Infinity Saga." 188. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, gave the film a score of 78 out of 100 based on 57 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. 189 audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an A+ grade on an A+ to F scale, the third Marvel film to receive the grade after The Avengers and Black Panther, 2018. Post-track audiences gave the film 5 stars out of 5 and an 85% definite recommend. 168. Writing for NPR, Glenn Weldon gave the film a positive review and found it a worthy sequel to its predecessor. The Russos' decision to stick close to the experiences of the remaining Avengers proves a rewarding one, as they've expressly constructed the film as an extended victory lap for the Marvel Cinematic Universe writ large. Got a favorite character from any Marvel movie over the past decade, no matter how obscure? Prepare to get serviced, fan. 190. In his Rolling Stone review, Peter Travers gave the film 4 stars out of 5. "You don't have to make jokes about the cliched time travel plot. The film is ready, willing, and able to make its own, with Back to the Future coming in for a serious ribbing." 191. Peter DeBrugge of Variety wrote, "After the must-see showdown that was Infinity War, the Russo brothers deliver a more fan-facing 3-hour follow-up, rewarding loyalty to Marvel Cinematic Universe." 192. J.R. Kinnard of Pop Matters wrote, "Big-budget action filmmaking doesn't get much better than this." 193. Todd McCarthy of The Hollywood Reporter said, "W. comes across most strongly here, oddly enough for an effects-driven comic book-derived film, is the character acting, especially from Downey, Ruffalo, Evans, Hemsworth, Brolin, and Paul Rudd." 194. Richard Roper, writing for the Chicago Sun-Times, gave the film 4 stars and praised its emotional punch and the funny, well-paced, smart, expertly rendered screenplay by Christopher Markus and Stephen McFeely, crisp direction from Anthony Russo and Joe Russo, and the universally stellar performances. 195. The New York Times reviewer A.O. Scott gave the film a positive but guarded review. "Endgame is a monument to adequacy, a fitting capstone to an enterprise that figured out how to be good enough for enough people enough of the time. Not that it's really over, of course, Disney and Marvel are still working out new wrinkles in the time-money continuum. But the Russos do provide the sense of an ending, a chance to appreciate what has been done before the timelines reset and we all get back to work." 196. Justin Chang of the Los Angeles Times wrote that Avengers: Endgame achieves and earns its climactic surge of feeling, even as it falls just short of real catharsis. 197. Some called the film a notable improvement over its predecessor, Avengers: Infinity War, including Brian Tallarico of RoachRebert.com. Endgame is a more patient, focused film than Infinity War, even as its plot draws in elements of a dozen other movies. 198. Matt Zoller Seitz, also of RoachRebert.com, compared the film positively to Infinity War, which he considered too crowded, too rushed, and yet too long. Sites called Endgame a heartfelt and satisfying experience and a surprisingly relaxed, character-driven, self-aware yet sincere comedy for two-thirds of the film. Much of the script suggests a laid-back Richard Linklater movie with superheroes. 199 Joe Morgenstern of the Wall Street Journal cited Avengers: Endgame as the conclusion of the Infinity Saga, calling the final battle inevitably unwieldy, but thrilling all the same, and followed by a delicate coda. So many stories. So many adventures. So much to sort out before the next cycle starts. 200. Richard Brody was more critical of the film in The New Yorker, saying that its good acting was not matched by comparable skill from its directors. The Russos have peculiarly little sense of visual pleasure, little sense of beauty, little sense of metaphor, little aptitude for texture or composition. Their spectacular conceit is purely one of scale, which is why their finest moments are quiet and dramatic ones. 201 Anthony Lane of The New Yorker gave the film a negative review, finding it overwrought. The one thing you do need to know about Avengers: Endgame is that it runs for a little over 3 hours, and that you can easily duck out during the middle hour, do some shopping, and slip back into your seat for the climax. You won't have missed a thing. 202. Accolades. Main article: list of accolades received by Avengers: Endgame. At the 92nd Academy Awards, Avengers: Endgame received a nomination for Best Visual Effects. 203 The film's other nominations include an Annie Award, which it won, 204 a British Academy Film Award, 205 and 3 Critics' Choice Movie Awards, winning 2. 206 Its Wikipedia page was the most viewed article of 2019, with 44.2 million views. 207 Endgame ranked 41st in a March 2020 Empire magazine poll of the 100 greatest films of the 21st century. 208 The Avengers assembling moment was one of 5 finalists for an Oscars cheer moment in the Oscars fan favorite contest for the 94th Academy Awards in February 2022, despite the film's ineligibility for other Academy Awards that year. 209. Future. Main article: Avengers: Doomsday. Further information: Marvel Cinematic Universe, Phase 6 Avengers: Secret Wars, 2027. In May 2018, the Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Iger said Marvel Studios was focusing on new characters and franchises for the MCU following Endgame, but another Avengers film could happen eventually given the popularity of the previous films. 210 Shortly after the film's premiere, the Russo brothers said that they were not opposed to returning to the MCU in the future due to their positive relationship with Marvel Studios, but did not plan to do so at that time. 211 Feige said in January 2021 that another Avengers film would happen eventually. 212. At the 2022 San Diego Comic-Con, Feige announced Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and Avengers: Secret Wars. The films would conclude Phase 6 of the MCU. 213 Feige later said that the Russo brothers would not return to direct the films. 214 Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, 2021, was set to direct The Kang Dynasty. 215 With a script from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, 2023, writer Jeff Loveness. 216 Loki Season 1, 2021, head writer and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, 2022, writer Michael Waldron was set to write the screenplay for Secret Wars. 217 By November 2023, Cretton had stepped down as director of The Kang Dynasty. 218 When Waldron was hired to replace Loveness as the writer for The Kang Dynasty. 219 Jonathan Majors, who portrayed Kang the Conqueror and was expected to appear in both films, was fired by Disney and Marvel Studios in December 2023 after he was convicted of assault. By then, Marvel was referring to the Kang Dynasty internally as Avengers 5. 220. At the 2024 San Diego Comic-Con, the Russo brothers were announced to be directing the next two Avengers films. They revealed that Avengers 5 was now titled Avengers: Doomsday and would feature Doctor Doom as the main antagonist rather than Kang. Downey was revealed to have been cast as Doom for both films, and McFeely had joined as a co-writer. 221 numerous MCU cast members are set to reprise their roles in Doomsday, along with several actors who starred in 20th Century Fox's X-Men film series. 222 Doomsday is scheduled to be released on December 18, 2026, with Secret Wars following on December 17, 2027. Robert John Downey Jr., born April 4, 1965, is an American actor. Known for portraying charismatic and intelligent characters over a diverse range of films, he was the highest paid actor in Hollywood annually from 2013 to 2015. His films as a leading actor have grossed over $14.3 billion worldwide, making him one of the highest grossing actors of all time. Downey's accolades include an Academy Award, a Daytime Emmy Award, 3 Golden Globe Awards, and 2 BAFTA Awards. At the age of 5, Downey made his acting debut in his father Robert Downey Sr.'s film Pound, 1970. He rose to prominence by working with the Brat Pack for the teen films Weird Science, 1985, and Less Than Zero, 1987. His portrayal of Charlie Chaplin in the biopic Chaplin, 1992, earned him the BAFTA Award for Best Actor and an Academy Award nomination. After serving time at the Corcoran Substance Abuse Treatment Facility on drug charges, Downey joined the television series Ally McBeal in 2000, earning a Golden Globe for his performance. In 2001, he was dismissed from the show following further drug-related arrests. He entered a court-ordered rehabilitation program and has remained sober since 2003. After Mel Gibson paid his insurance bond, Downey made his film comeback with The Singing Detective, 2003. He portrayed the titular detective in Sherlock Holmes, 2009, which earned him a Golden Globe and its sequel, subtitled A Game of Shadows, 2011. Downey gained global recognition for starring as Iron Man in 10 Marvel Cinematic Universe films, from Iron Man, 2008, to Avengers: Endgame, 2019. For his portrayal of Lewis Strauss in Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, 2023, he won an Academy Award, Golden Globe, and BAFTA Award for Best Supporting Actor. In 2024, he was nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award for the miniseries The Sympathizer and made his Broadway debut in the title role of Allotted actors McNeil. Time named Downey one of the 100 most influential people in 2008, and Forbes featured him on the Celebrity 100 in 2013 and 2014. He has pursued music, releasing the jazz pop album The Futurist, 2004, which charted on the US Billboard 200. Divorced from singer Deborah Falconer, he has been married to film producer Susan Levin since 2005, with whom he co-founded the production company Team Downey. He has 3 children, 1 with Falconer and 2 with Levin. Downey was named one of the greatest actors of the 21st century by The Independent. Early life and acting background. Robert John Downey Jr. was born in Manhattan, New York City, on April 4, 1965. His father, Robert Downey Sr. Annie Elias, was a filmmaker too, while his mother, Elsie Ann, née Ford, was an actress who appeared in Downey Sr.'s films. 3 Downey Sr. was 1/2 Lithuanian Jewish, 1/4 Hungarian Jewish, and 1/4 Irish, while Elsie had Scottish, German, and Swiss ancestry. 5 Downey's sister, Allison, is 2 years older than him. 6. Due to his father's film projects, Downey moved frequently during his childhood, living in places such as Woodstock, New York, London, New Mexico, California, Connecticut, and Greenwich Village in New York City. 7. From a young age, Downey was exposed to drugs. His father struggled with addiction, and his mother battled alcoholism. 7. He has said that his father introduced him to marijuana at age 8-10, for which he later expressed regret. 11 Downey mentioned that using drugs with his father created an emotional connection between them, explaining that, "When my dad and I used drugs together, it was his way of showing love for me in the only manner he knew." 12-13. During his childhood, Downey appeared in small roles in his father's films. He made his acting debut at the age of 5, portraying a sick puppy in the absurdist comedy Pound, 1970, and at 7, he appeared in the surrealist western Greaser's Palace, 1972. 14 At ages 11 and 12, he attended Staghetto Manor, a summer acting camp in upstate New York. 15. In school, Downey was a hyperactive child who tried to be cool, often teased by the older boys but popular with the girls. 15 His parents divorced in 1977 when he was 12, afterward, he lived with his mother in a fifth-floor apartment in New York 16-17 while his sister stayed with their father, who later took her to a boarding school. 17 He attended Lincoln Junior High School for 8th grade and then Santa Monica High School for 9th and 10th grades, but dropped out in 1982. 18 At age 17, Downey relocated to New York City to pursue acting full-time. 19 Working various jobs such as clearing tables at a Central Falls restaurant, working in a shoe store, and performing as living art at the nightclub area to support himself during auditions. 2021 During this period, he also appeared in local theater and off-Broadway productions. 22. Career 1983 to 1995, early work and critical acclaim. Downey made his stage debut in 1983 with a 3-week run in Alms for the Middle Class at the Jiva Theater Center. 23 He then appeared in the short-lived off-Broadway musical American Passion at the Joyce Theater, produced by Norman Lear. 24 Downey's first credited film role was in Baby It's You, 1983, though most of his scenes were cut. 25 In his early film roles, he frequently portrayed misfit characters. 26 And his portrayals of punk-like figures in several 1980s coming-of-age films led to his occasional association with the Brat Pack. 1927 In the drama film Firstborn, 1984, he played a supporting role as the teenage friend of the protagonist. 26 Downey then traveled to Los Angeles to film James Spader's Tough Turf, 1985, in which he played Spader's sidekick and a punk drummer. 25 Later that year, his role as a bully in John Hughes's Weird Science, 1985, marked his breakthrough. 28 Downey starred as a more likable radical socialist in the Alan Metter comedy film Back to School, 1987. 26. A 25-year-old Downey dressed in a dark blazer and colorful shirt, being interviewed with a microphone. Downey at the premiere of Air America in 1990. In 1985, Downey joined the new, younger cast of Saturday Night Live, securing the audition with help from his Weird Science co-star and friend Anthony Michael Hall. 25 After a season of poor ratings and criticism of the cast's comedic ability, he and most of the new members were dismissed. 1929 Downey's first leading role came in The Pickup Artist, 1987, which faced criticism for being sexually irresponsible because of its portrayal of promiscuous sex during a period of heightened AIDS awareness. 30-31 He earned critical acclaim for his role as Julian Wells in the drama film Less Than Zero, 1987, the film adaptation of Bret Easton Ellis's 1985 novel. 32-33 For portraying a drug-addicted rich boy whose life rapidly spirals out of control. 34 Roger Ebert called his performance so real, so subtle, and so observant that it's scary. 35 While Janet Maslin, writing for the New York Times, deemed it desperately moving. 34 Downey said that the role felt like the ghost of Christmas future for him, as his drug habit led him to become an exaggeration of the character in real life. 36. Shortly after completing Less Than Zero, Downey entered rehab for the first time, beginning a decade-long cycle of interventions and treatment stints that culminated in his 1996 arrest. 37-8 He starred alongside Kiefer Sutherland and Winona Ryder in the teen drama 1969, 1988. 30. The film saw mixed reviews. 38. Though his performance garnered good reviews from writers at Variety and Deseret News. 39. 40. Downey went on to star in the films Chances Are, 1989, with Sybil Shepherd and Ryan O'Neal, Air America, 1990, with Mel Gibson, and Soap Dish, 1991, with Sally Field, Kevin Kline, Kathy Moriarty, and Whoopi Goldberg. Each saw varying critical success. 41. 42. 43. To prepare for his portrayal of comic actor and filmmaker Charlie Chaplin in the biopic Chaplin, 1992, Downey trained extensively, learning to play the violin and tennis left-handed, and working with a coach to replicate Chaplin's accent and mannerisms. 44. Although the film was a box office bomb, 45. Critics praised Downey's performance. 46. For which he earned the BAFTA Award for Best Actor, as well as Academy Award and Golden Globe Award nominations. 47. Oh come on, that's too much. You're going too far, Robert, you're ruining my movie. Forget the dumb dick idea. This isn't some slapstick bullshit. Oliver Stone recalled shouting at Downey during the filming of Natural Born Killers, 1994, 48. In 1993, Downey starred in Heart and Souls, playing a man possessed by multiple characters, a performance that Peter Travers praised as revealing his explosive talent for physical comedy. 49. 50. In Only You, 1994, co-starring Marissa Tomei and Billy Zane, Downey played Peter Wright, a professional dancer who poses as the soulmate for Tomei's character Faith. 30. 51. Norman Jewison, the film's director, cast him because he reminded him of Tony Curtis, charming with great comedic timing. 52. In preparation for his role of reporter Wayne Gale in Natural Born Killers, 1994, Downey shadowed Australian television shock journalist Steve Dunleavy, which helped him develop an Australian accent. 53. 54. The film proved successful at the box office, grossing $110 million on a $34 million budget. 55. 56. Throughout 1995, he took on a string of diverse roles, appearing in the period drama Restoration 57, the Shakespearean adaptation Richard III 58, and the family ensemble Home for the Holidays. 59. 1996 to 2001, addiction-related setbacks and Ally McBeal. In early 1996, concerned for Downey's well-being, Sean Penn and Dennis Quaid went to his residence, took his keys, and brought him to a rehab center in Tucson. However, Downey left the facility and checked himself out a few days later. 37. In June 1996, he was arrested for possession of heroin, cocaine, crack cocaine, and an unloaded .357 Magnum handgun while speeding down Sunset Boulevard. A month later, while under the influence of a controlled substance, he entered a neighbor's home through an unlocked front door and fell asleep on one of their beds. 60. 61. 62. The family declined to press trespassing charges. 8. The 911 call made by the neighbor was later circulated online and became known as the Goldilocks incident. 63. In September 1996, he pleaded no contest. 2 months later, following a period in court-ordered rehab, he was sentenced to an additional 6 months of live-in rehabilitation, 3 years probation, and compulsory drug testing. 864. Downey starred in Two Girls and a Guy, 1997, portraying a duplicitous man who convinces each of two women that she is his only love. 49. Mugshot of a 34-year-old Downey smiling slightly, holding a placard with his identification details. Mugshot from his arrest in August 1999. Mugshot of Downey, wearing a green shirt, looking directly at the camera with a slight smile. Mugshot from his arrest in April 2001. After missing a court-ordered drug test in 1997, Downey spent 6 months in Los Angeles County Jail. 65. In January 1998, he was temporarily allowed out of jail to star in the U.S. Marshals. 66. Upon his full release, he entered a court-mandated 120-day rehab program and then starred in Black and White, 1999, playing Terry Doniger, the gay husband of a documentary filmmaker. 867 that year, after maintaining sobriety during the filming of Wonder Boys, 2000, Downey relapsed. At the time, he was facing financial difficulties and had lost his house in Malibu. 37 later that year, after missing another court-ordered drug test, he was arrested again. Despite his lawyer, Robert Shapiro, assembling the same legal team that had successfully defended O.J. Simpson in his criminal trial, Downey was sentenced to a 3-year prison term at the California Substance Abuse Treatment Facility and State Prison in Corcoran. 68-69 at the time of his arrest, all of Downey's film projects had been completed and were nearing release. He had also been hired to voice the devil in the NBC animated series God, the Devil, and Bob, but was dismissed after failing to attend rehearsals. 69-70. After spending nearly a year in the Corcoran prison, Downey was unexpectedly released in 2000 on the condition of posting a $5,000 bail, when a judge ruled that his cumulative time in incarceration facilities from his initial 1996 arrests qualified him for early release. 11 a week after his release, he joined the cast of the television series Ally McBeal as a new love interest. 71 for his performance, he was nominated for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series and won the Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor, Series, Miniseries, or Television Film. 72-73 in retrospect, Downey described his performance as overrated, deeming it his lowest point in terms of addictions. 36 before the end of his first season on Ally McBeal, Downey was arrested on Thanksgiving in 2000, after police responded to an anonymous 911 call and searched his room at Merv Griffin's Hotel and Givenchy Spa in Palm Springs, California. He was found under the influence of a controlled substance and in possession of cocaine and Valium. 74-75 Despite facing a potential prison sentence of up to 4 years and 8 months if convicted, Downey committed to appear in at least 8 additional episodes of Ally McBeal. 76. In April 2001, while on parole, Downey was found wandering barefoot in Culver City by a Los Angeles police officer. He was arrested on suspicion of being under the influence of drugs but was released a few hours later, even though tests confirmed the presence of cocaine in his system. 77-78 After the arrest, the producers of Ally McBeal ordered last-minute rewrites and reshoots before dismissing him from the series, despite his character having boosted the show's ratings. 79 In July 2001, Downey pleaded no contest to the Palm Springs charges, avoiding jail time. Instead, he was ordered into drug rehabilitation and sentenced to 3 years of probation under California Proposition 36, which had been enacted the previous year to direct nonviolent drug offenders toward treatment rather than prison. 1180 He spent a year in a court-mandated rehabilitation facility. By this time Downey was homeless, considered too great an insurance risk to be employable, and facing bankruptcy. 37. In December 2000, Downey's stepmother, Rosemary, told author Alex Treslowski of People that Downey had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder a few years ago, adding that this was the reason he has a hard time staying sober. What hasn't been tried is medication and intensive psychotherapy. 81 Los Angeles psychiatrist Dr. Manajani Kokhtar said she had received a letter from Downey in 1999 during his incarceration at Corcoran II, asking for advice regarding his condition. She stated that no one had done a complete psychiatric evaluation on him. I asked him flat out if he thought he was bipolar, and he said, "Oh yeah. There are times I spend a lot of money and I'm hyperactive, and there are other times I'm down." 81. 2001 to 2007, Recovery and Comeback. I said, "You know what? I don't think I can continue doing this." And I reached out for help, and I ran with it. You can reach out for help in kind of a half-assed way and you'll get it and you won't take advantage of it. It's not that difficult to overcome these seemingly ghastly problems. What's hard is to decide to do it. Downey speaking to Oprah Winfrey in November 2004. 82. After 5 years of substance abuse, arrests, and relapse, Downey began working toward a full recovery in 2001. 83-84 His first acting job after rehabilitation came in August, when he appeared lip-syncing in the music video for Elton John's single I Want Love, directed by Sam Taylor Wood. 2 years later, he returned to film with The Singing Detective, 2003, directed by his back-to-school co-star Keith Gordon, after Gibson paid his insurance bond, allowing him to be cast. 85-86 He played Dan Dark, a paralyzed, suffering pulp novelist who hallucinates and drifts between reality and fantasy. 49 Although the film received mixed reviews, Downey regarded it as a personal achievement. 49-87 For Gothica, 2003, producer Joel Silver withheld 40% of Downey's salary until production was completed as protection against potential issues related to his addiction. 88. Silver secured Downey the lead role in Shane Black's directorial debut, the comedy thriller Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, 2005. 89 Downey received positive reviews for his performance. Mike Russell, writing in The Oregonian, deemed it one of his most enjoyable performances. 90 While a writer for The Age deemed it a terrific comic performance. 91 Downey appeared in a range of leading and supporting roles, gaining particular recognition for his performances in several semi-independent films. In Good Night, and Good Luck, 2005, he portrayed a CBS journalist and editor secretly married to a co-worker, a relationship concealed due to the network's policy prohibiting employees from marrying one another. 92 His role as a drug addict in Richard Linklater's dystopian, rotoscope film A Scanner Darkly, 2006, was praised. 93 Traverse called his performance the film's flashiest and most ferociously entertaining. 94 and J. Hoberman regarded it as the performance to beat that year. 95 Downey's character in Stephen Shainberg's fictional biographical drama Fur, 2006, was a composite representing the two most significant influences on Diane Arbus's professional life, Lizette Model and Marvin Israel. 96 Fur was poorly received by critics. 97 Who conversely lauded Downey's performance. 98-99 In 2005, Downey returned to television, providing voice work for an episode of Family Guy titled The Fat Guy Strangler. 100 The producers created the character Patrick Pewterschmidt, Lois Griffin's long-lost, mentally disturbed brother, specifically for him. 101 That same year, Downey signed a deal with HarperCollins to publish a memoir, which he described as a candid account of his life and career. In 2008, however, he returned his advance and cancelled the project without explanation. 102 In 2007, he appeared in David Fincher's mystery thriller Zodiac, based on true events, portraying San Francisco Chronicle journalist Paul Avery, who covered the Zodiac killer case. 103-104 Downey's performance was critically acclaimed. 105 A Tuscaloosa news writer deemed it one of his best. 106 and Manala Dargis remarked that he was at the top of his performance game. 107 2008 to 2019, stardom with Iron Man. Downey smiling warmly, dressed in a plaid suit jacket with a white shirt and a black tie. Downey at an event for Iron Man in 2008. In 2006, Downey was cast as the titular character in the superhero film Iron Man. 108-109 Director Jon Favreau explained that while Downey was not the most obvious choice, he understood what makes the character tick. He found a lot of his own life experience in Tony Stark. 110 Favreau strongly advocated for Downey's casting, believing he could elevate the film's quality and generate widespread audience interest, much like Johnny Depp had done for the Pirates of the Caribbean series. 111-112 To prepare for the role, Downey gained more than 20 pounds, 9 kilograms, of muscle over 5 months to achieve the physicality required for the part. 113 Iron Man was released on May 2, 2008, in the US. 114 It became the 8th highest grossing film of 2008, earning more than $585 million worldwide against a production budget of $130 million. 116. In Iron Man, Downey portrayed Tony Stark, a wealthy industrialist who is kidnapped and forced to build a deadly missile, only to instead construct a suit of armor that transforms him into the superhero Iron Man. 117. Both the film and Downey's performance were acclaimed by critics. 118. Many of whom considered his portrayal the standout element of Iron Man and credited it with catapulting him to global stardom. 119. 121. Ebert wrote that it's Robert Downey Jr. who powers the lift-off, separating this from most other superhero movies. 122. While, in a retrospective Variety article, Zach Sharf credited Downey's charisma with making Iron Man both a critical and commercial success. 123. By October 2008, Downey had signed on to reprise his role in 2 sequels to Iron Man and in the Avengers, 2012, which featured the superhero team that Stark joins, based on Marvel's comic book series of the same name. 124. He first reprised the role with a brief appearance as Stark in the film The Incredible Hulk, 2008, as part of Marvel Studios' initiative to depict the same Marvel universe on film by providing continuity among the films. 125. Downey starred alongside Ben Stiller, who also directed the film, and Jack Black in Tropic Thunder. 126. The 3 actors portray exaggerated Hollywood archetypes, with Downey playing Kirk Lazarus, a self-absorbed, multi-Oscar-winning Australian method actor starring in an overblown Vietnam War film titled Tropic Thunder. 127. 128. To embody his character, African-American platoon Sergeant Lincoln Osiris, Lazarus undergoes a controversial skin pigmentation procedure, requiring Downey to wear dark makeup and a wig. 129. 130. 131. Released in August 2008. 132. Tropic Thunder opened atop the American box office and retained the #1 position for 3 consecutive weeks, eventually grossing $195 million worldwide on a budget of about $90 million. 133. 134. For his portrayal of Lazarus, Downey was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. 135. He then portrayed Steve Lopez in the biopic The Soloist, 2009, a Los Angeles Times columnist who discovers a homeless man playing a violin with virtuoso skill. 136. Downey played the titular detective in Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes, 2009. 137. The Times praised the lead performances, describing Downey as terrific and commending Ritchie for eliciting a career-best performance from Jude Law, though it noted that their double act struggled to sustain an overlong film. 138. Sherlock Holmes became the 8th highest-grossing film of 2009 and won Downey the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. 139. 140. Downey reprised his role as Stark in Iron Man 2, the first of 2 planned sequels to Iron Man. 141. Released in May 2010 in the US. 142. The film grossed over $623 million worldwide, ranking as the 7th highest grossing film of the year. 124. Set 6 months after Iron Man. 143. The film follows Stark as he rejects government demands to share his technology, while facing the vengeful scientist Ivan Vanko. 144. 145. Ebert called Downey's performance intriguing and unexpected, stating that he doesn't behave like most superheroes, he lacks the psychic weight and gravitas. 146. Downey, standing behind a podium at a conference or event, wearing glasses and a gray checkered blazer over a patterned shirt with a pocket square. Downey speaking at the 2019 Disney Legends Awards. Downey's other film role of 2010 was in Due Date, which was filmed across various locations in the US, including Georgia, New Mexico, Arizona, and Los Angeles. 147. In it, He played an architect trying to get from Atlanta to Los Angeles in time for his wife's scheduled cesarean section. 148. The film was a box office success, earning over $211 million on a budget of $65 million. 149. 150. That same year, Downey and his wife Susan opened their own production company called Team Downey. 151. Downey reprised his role as Sherlock Holmes in Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows, 2011, the sequel to the 2009 film. 152. In A Game of Shadows, he investigates a conspiracy led by his nemesis, Professor Moriarty, and works to prevent an impending world war. 153. 154. Todd McCarthy of The Hollywood Reporter lauded the film's more mannered shenanigans, whose action-oriented antics play straight to modern audiences' tastes. 155. Downey reprised the role of Stark in The Avengers, 2012. In the film, the Avengers assemble to stop Loki from conquering Earth using the Tesseract Node 1 to open a portal for an alien invasion. 157. The film was both a critical and commercial success, grossing over $1.52 billion. It became the third highest grossing film of all time. 158. 159. 160. In Iron Man 3, 2013, Stark faces threats from a terrorist known as the Mandarin while dealing with the aftermath of previous events and developing new technology to confront his enemies. 161. Iron Man 3 grossed $1.215 billion, making it the fifth highest grossing film of all time upon release. 162. 163. He then portrayed a Chicago lawyer in The Judge, the first production by Team Downey. 164. 165. He reprised the role as Tony Stark in the MCU films Avengers, Age of Ultron, 2015, 166. Captain America, Civil War, 2016, 167. Spider-Man, Homecoming, 2017, 168. Avengers, Infinity War, 2018, 169. and Avengers, Endgame, 2019. 168. Three of his scenes from the Avengers and Avengers, Endgame were used as archive footage in the first episode of the Disney Plus series Loki. 170. 2020, present, Oppenheimer and expansion. In 2020, Downey starred in Stephen Gaghan's Dolittle, portraying the titular 19th-century Welsh veterinarian who can communicate with animals. 171. 172. The film, the second produced by Team Downey, was a box office disappointment and received largely negative reviews, with critics citing its excessive length and lackluster execution. 173. In 2023, Downey portrayed the antagonistic bureaucrat Louis Strauss in Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. 174. 175. He accepted a pay cut for the role, earning $4 million instead of his usual $10 to $20 million upfront salary. 176. Downey later called Oppenheimer the best film he had appeared in. 177. Both the biopic and his performance received widespread critical acclaim. 178. 179. 180. For his role, he won the Golden Globe 181, BAFTA 182, Screen Actors Guild 183, Critics' Choice 184 and Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. 185. That same year, Downey hosted the television series Downey's Dream Cars, in which he and his team converted several of his vehicles from gas to electric. 186. The show won Downey the Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lifestyle Program. 187. Downey next starred in a 2024 television adaptation of Viet Thanh Nguyen's historical satire novel The Sympathizer on HBO, portraying 5 supporting antagonistic roles representing the American establishment. 188. His multi-role performance earned him an Primetime Emmy nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie. 189 Downey made his Broadway debut in McNeil, from playwright Ayad Akhtar, playing Jacob McNeil, a gifted novelist with a difficult family life and a potentially problematic interest in artificial intelligence. Previews began on September 5, 2024, and opened on September 30 at Lincoln Center's Vivian Beaumont Theater, playing a strictly limited engagement through November 24. 190 In July 2024 at San Diego Comic-Con, it was announced that Downey would return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Victor Von Doom/Dr. Doom in the upcoming films Avengers, Doomsday, 2026, and Avengers, Secret Wars, 2027. 191. Other ventures. Music. Downey has ventured into music. He has sung on several soundtracks for his films, including Chaplin 192 Too Much Sun 193 Two Girls and a Guy 193 Friends and Lovers 194 and The Singing Detective 194. On November 23, 2004, he released his only studio album, The Futurist. 195 A jazz pop infused record 196 197 The Futurist was produced by Jonathan Elias and Mark Hudson. Downey played the piano on some of the tracks. 198 The album debuted at number 121 on the Billboard 200 chart, selling 16,000 copies in its first week. 199 200. While promoting Tropic Thunder, Downey and his co-stars Ben Stiller and Jack Black were backup singers for the Pips to Gladys Knight singing Midnight Train to Georgia for the season 7 finale of American Idol in 2008. 201 202 Downey has repeatedly collaborated with the English musician Sting. In addition to their 2001 duet of The Police's Every Breath You Take on an episode of Ally McBeal, the two performed Driven to Tears together live at Sting's 60th birthday concert in October 2011. 203 That same year, both appeared on Jonathan Elias's Prayer Cycle 2, Path to Zero, a benefit album supporting the anti-nuclear